students, today in history subject we will see chapter number 10, Ancient India Cultural. Now students, already we are studying in Vedic civilization, the earliest civilization in the history of ancient India, and it was named after Vedas. Now the early literature of the Hindu people. Now today we will see one by one the ancient India culture. So 10.1 language and literature, 10.2 life of the people, 10.3 science, 10.4 centers of education, 10.5 art and architecture. So all these points we are going to cover. There was an uninterrupted literacy tradition in ancient India. Now here uninterrupted means what, students? Means without a break, means in continuity. And the literature was produced in many languages like Sanskrit, Urdu-Magadhi, Pali and Tamil languages. And it included religious literature, treatises on grammar, epics, plays, stories, etc. Next is Sangam literature. Sangam means a gathering of learned men. Now in this literature there were learned men. Okay, so the group were known as Sangam, means a gathering of learned men. The literature compiled in such gatherings is known as Sangam literature. It is the most ancient literature in Tamil, Silapadikaram and Manimekhalai are two of these well-known epics. From Sangam literature, we learn about the political and social life in South during the period. Now here students, all these are difficult words, you need to go through the textbook, have a reading of this. Okay, so you will have the habit of these big words. Now this Silapadikaram and Manimekhalai, these were the two well-known epics. And from the Sangam literature, we come to learn about what we will learn, that political and social life in the south part during the period. Now religious literature. The important texts include Agam Granth, Tipitaka and Bhagavad Gita. So this religious literature include this Agam Granth, Tipitaka and Bhagavad Gita. The Jain Agam Granthas were written in Prakrit languages of Urdu-Magadhi, Shauraseni and Maharashtri. The Agam Granthas are a collection of teaching of Vardhaman Mahavir. So this Agam Grantha is nothing but is the collection where the teaching of Vardhaman Mahavir has written. Literary works like Mahapuranas, biographies, stories, etc. are available in the Abhirabhava's language. Siddhasan Divakar wrote Samay Sutta, a work in Prakrit or jurisprudence. Vimal Suri has told the story of Rama in Tamacharya, a poetic work in Prakrit. Hari Bahadur Suri, Samay Raj Chakha and Uddayjan Suri, Kualem Lakha are well-known works. Tipitaka has three pitakas or parts. The word pitika means what, students? Means a basket or collection. Here it means a section. The Tipitaka is written in Pali language. So which language the Tipitaka is written? Tipitaka is written in Pali language. It consists of three categories of text. Which are they? First one is Sutta Pitaka. It includes the text of Gautam Buddha's teaching. In Sutta Pitaka, it is written teachings of Gautam Buddha is there, and they are called as Suktas, and they are called by name Suktas. Vinay Pitaka, the word Vinay here means rules. The Vinay Pitaka gives, the word Vinay here means rules. The Vinay Pitaka gives the rules of behavior which bhikkhus and bhikkhunis in the Buddha Sangha should follow in their day-to-day lives. Abhidhamma Pitaka. In this Buddhist doctrine has been explained a text title Arthakatha means Arthakatha, which explains the Tipitakas is well known. Learned women compose gathas, narratives about their own experience. They have been compiled in the Tirigata. They are in the Pali language. And which language they are written? Tirigata, it is in the Pali language. The Bhagavad Gita, which is sacred text of Hindus, is a part of the Mahabharata. The Bhagavad Gita tells us that each one of one should do our duty without expecting rewards. It also says that the path of devotion to God is open to all. So in Bhagavad Gita, what is written that it should not be, it is our duty to do all the things but not expecting the rewards, and it also say it is a path of devotion to God and it is open for everyone. Adi Shankaracharya lived during the 8th century CE. He emphasized knowledge and renunciation. He wrote commentaries explaining the Upanishad, Brahma Sutras and the Bhagavad Gita. So Adi Shankaracharya explained, and he had given more emphasis on the knowledge and renunciation, and he also wrote the commentaries explaining the Upanishad, Brahma Sutras and the Bhagavad Gita. He established 4 muths in 4 directions of India at Badrinath, Dwarka, Jagannath Puri and Sringeri. This is the pic of the Adi Shankaracharya. Kautilya wrote the Arthashastra, in which he discussed at length what constitutes on excellent administrative system. Treatise on grammar. Ashtadhyayi, written by the grammarian Panani, is considered to be the standard work on Sanskrit grammar. Now, Ashtadhyayi is written in the grammar only by the grammarian known by, he was Panini, and is considered to be the standard work of Sanskrit grammar. Patanjali wrote Mahabhashya. It explained the principle given in Panani's Ashtadhyayi. So it focused in Patanjali. It explains the principles on given in Panani's Ashtadhyayi. Arsha and classical epics. Ramayana and Mahabharata are the 2 Arsha epics of ancient India. Everybody knows. Harsha means composed by Rishi or sages. The Ramayana was composed by Rishi Valmiki. The main character of Ramayana is Sri Ram. Everybody know in Ramayana Sri Ram is the main character. And in Mahabharata has been composed by Sage Vyas. Its main theme is the war between the Kauravas and Pandavas. So in Mahabharata it was written that there is a war between the Kauravas and Pandavas. It also tells about the Lord Krishna's life, not only Kaurava and Pandavas but also the Krishna's life. The Mahabharata provides a comprehensive picture of the various human sentiments and emotions and their consequence. So in Mahabharata it is a picture of the various human sentiments and their emotions and their consequence also. Sometimes there is such a period in the history of language, literature and art that is its glory remained undiminished even later on. The art, literature, etc. produced in such a period is said to be classical. Raghuvansh and Kumar Sambhava by Kalidas, Kirit Arjunya